What's up, guys? This is episode number 2 of my journey to 21 episodes for my podcast this month. That is essentially my November challenge. I'm basically just trying to develop and fine-tune my skills in podcasting. So I launched this in June, and I've been able to do 2 episodes, which is kind of ridiculous in the amount of time that I've had it. But now my goal is to find my consistency, and I feel like if I can get my 21 episodes, develop that habit of really recording every couple of days, finding my way of what that looks like for recording, publishing, fine-tuning, editing the videos, anything like that. I just feel like that's where I'll get good. And that kind of is why I want to talk about why I've been doing these challenges and what the topic for this podcast is specifically going to be. It's basically just kind of breaking down how the smallest wins turn into the biggest successes, and how everything is breakdownable into smaller steps. So I believe that you can accomplish bigger goals if you just break it down into very small actionable steps, because if you have one huge goal that seems daunting or stressful or anything like that, it can seem like it's not possible. But if you can fine-tune ways to just break it into do this one thing for a week straight, that will build the skill of having that to then build on the next skill that you need to make it easier and easier and easier and undeniable that once you get to your goal, it's just possible. So that's just where if you can just do really small wins over and over and over, make it almost undeniable that you accomplish who you want to be, what you want to get closer to, that type of stuff. So, an example to break that down, or just put it into visual terms, or just some thoughts or ideas of things that I've also helped people kind of get through, is say that you are a person who wants to run every day. And right now you're not running at all. You're not even running once a week, anything like that. It's going to be hard to basically go from not running at all to running every single day. So what I hope people realize, or try to get myself to realize as well, is if you can just almost make it ridiculous that you don't do the habit that you want. So say if you want to run every day, can you put on your running shoes once a day? And if you can put on your running shoes for a week straight, then maybe the next week you just decide all right, last week I put on my running shoes every day. Now I'm going to walk to the end of my block every day. So it's like you put on your running shoes, all right, I know how to do that. Then you break it down and you're like, all right, now every day I just have to walk to the end of my block. I don't have to run, I just walk. But then all of a sudden you walk to the end of your block every day and you're like, oh man, I can do this. This is easy. Then you break it down and you're like, okay, now that I've done that for 7 days straight, a week straight, a month straight, then it's like you've built the habit, you've built the skill of knowing that what you're capable of. Then all of a sudden, you're like, all right, if I can walk to the end of the block, can I walk 2 blocks? Can I do 3 blocks? Can I walk for 30 minutes? And you just build it and build it and build it and build it until the point when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm running every day. Or, oh, I'm running once a week. And then all of a sudden you're like, all right, I'm running every other day. And you grow and you build. And that's when you truly accomplish your goals, because you've made it undeniable. It's like, oh, dude, I can definitely walk. I can definitely put on my shoes. Because if you're like, oh, you put on your shoes, but it just feels ridiculous to put on your shoes and then just take them off. You'll put on your shoes, you generally want to go on a walk or something. So that's where it kind of just, you build it over time. But then by having those tiny small wins where it's undeniable that you've accomplished it, that's where you gain the confidence and the experience and the stuff that's undeniable that makes you closer to who you want to be. So that's kind of what I'm talking about here. And that's why I'm doing these challenges every single month in the way that I'm doing them. So sometimes it's accountability with myself. And I know, like, for example, when I deleted my socials, I was like, I delete them off my phone. I tell people that I'm around, I'm like, hey, I'm deleting my socials, so I'm not allowed to be on socials this month. So then people see that, they know that I'm not doing it. So it's almost like this accountability where I find that. Or, for example, my push-up challenge. I had everyone know that I was doing it, but then I would have to post a video. I'd have to record and post a video no matter how awkward I was, no matter how uncomfortable I was. Like, even if it was like 11 o'clock at night and I was finishing my push-ups, then I still recorded and posted the video because it was my level of accountability. Or the Murph, I was like, I need to grow, I need to get faster. So every time my friends would be, oh, did you get faster? How was this next one? How did it go? Did you get quicker? Was it easier? That type of stuff. Or the running one, I had to post, I basically, no one told me to, but that was my accountability, is I always posted my run, on my story with a check mark. And that was how I basically was able to hold myself accountable and know that I got it done. But those were all my actionable steps that I'm breaking down on each month that I'm trying to get better. So that is this year for me. I am just a person who really loves personal development, growing as a person, developing new skills, and basically I've just decided that this year is dedicated to me. Like, every challenge I'm critiquing, I'm like, oh, like, does that make me closer or further away from who I want to be? Or does that challenge actually push me? Does this make me uncomfortable? That type of stuff. So, but each one of these, by the end of this year, I'm going to be able to look back and just be like, man, look at this person I've become. I mean, I've been posting social media videos and stuff like that, but I would like to think that I'm getting better at it. I guess I feel like I'm more comfortable. I'm trying to work on saying less, but this has been a grind. I've been like posting videos for a long time, and sometimes it gets views, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it gets likes, sometimes it doesn't, but none of that really matters to me, because right now I'm just developing the skill of communicating. And I think that's where this comes in. It's my small, tiny wins. It's like, okay, did I record the video? Sweet. All right. Like, that's a win. Did I post it? All right. Sweet. That's a win. I was like, did it get 1 view? Did it get 1 like? Like, it's like, those are all growth strategies. Those are the small wins that eventually, maybe like 5 years, 10 years, years down the road, once I learn to communicate more articulately, where I develop my confidence and I'm getting stronger and better as a podcaster, as someone who's growing in my skill set of communication and persuasion and leadership and all those things that I'm really passionate about. As I grow and get better, it's just undeniable that all of these tiny small wins of my year challenges, my monthly challenges, I'll have all this crazy evidence that I am who I say I am. And when I promise I'm going to do something, I do it. And that's where it comes in. Like, this is where all of this is going to grow into the person I want to be. And next year, my challenges are going to be so different. And it's not going to be like these types. It's going to be something higher leverage, more opportunities, because I've grown so much this year that it's going to get easier to do this type of stuff that I'm doing now. And I've built the skill and the habit and the accountability of doing this type of stuff. So then I grow and I build and I'm able to do higher leverage, bigger things, because I've grown into the type of person who is capable of more. And that's this whole concept of small wins lead to big success. So you can apply this into anything. You can apply it into your friendships, your relationships, your work, because no matter what, you are able and always able to take on more or be capable of more, but you have to take the uncomfortable steps to get better, and you have to suck in order to get good. And then you have to get good to be able to get great. And then you have to get great to be able to be exceptional. And I'm just working on trying to be the exception. Like, I want to be a type of person who is exceptional in a lot of things. Like, I just want to be someone who accomplishes big goals, or just is who he says he is, or does things like that, just because, like, I enjoy it. I love chasing big goals, because once I accomplish it, I'm excited about it. But I'm learning this journey over the last probably 2 or 3 years of kind of developing, because when you're constantly growing, it's really easy to just say, okay, what's next? And I've been trying to be a little bit more present in my accomplishments over these last 3 years, because I am just a type of person who I accomplish something and I can really brush it off and just really not think it's a big deal because of the types of people who I compare myself to. I realize that I'm so much further down the ladder. I don't even know what to say, but I'm just further away from who I want to be, and it's just hard for me to realize, like, sometimes I do have pretty sweet accomplishments that I need to be able to accept how much I've grown and just be excited for that process. So that's kind of the one thing that I'm really, really working on, growing and being present in my accomplishments while still always developing and growing as a person. And it's still a journey that I'm learning those ropes, and I just don't know if it ever really changes. I mean, they always say, like, oh, like, you're already at a spot in your life where you said you'd be happy. Like, once you make 50,000 a year, you're like, oh, I just want to get to 100,000. And then it's like, you keep growing and you keep building, and the next success is always there. But, I'm always just trying to find my journey of basically just always comparing myself to who I was yesterday or who I was